Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Astral Tourist Podcast. Last night was the Sturgeon Full Moon, and I've been able to recall some of my astral projections despite still feeling fatigued and being in the process of moving. Fun fact, I found out my landlady was perhaps ignorant of the law by only giving me 30 days to move. I've found out I legally have 90. The law is on my side if I end up needing more time. She's actually been a wonderful landlady. I'm not sure what's going on with that 30 days. I'm flabbergasted by that because I've known her for years. So, hopefully she'll do the right thing anyway without my having to bring up that I have 90 days. We'll see. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt if I can. And she's just this beautiful spirit. I'm not sure what happened there. So it's just a relief that the pressure is at least legally off. So, moving on. The Sturgeon Moon, traditionally named by indigenous peoples for the abundance of sturgeon fish during this time. It marks a period of deep emotional stirring and energetic clarity. It is said to bring unresolved feelings to the surface, making it a powerful time for release, reflection, and spiritual insight. Well, my emotions have definitely been stirred up, whether by this full moon energy or my landlady, or both. Probably all of the above lately, actually, and just getting back from that huge trip to Australia. Wow, I'm still just processing everything, really. So, it's a great time anyway to break free from outdated patterns. And full moons in general are great conditions for all that lunar energy, for lucid dreaming, astral travel, accessing higher realms of consciousness, and just, everything really like that. So to begin with, as I was drifting off to sleep, I had another short sleep paralysis again. And I wasn't even laying on my back that time. Sometimes I get it on my side, but it's rare anymore. Anyway, I heard the same energy vampire again. The succubus type one that happened. Only it sounded like it was from more of a distance, like it was like way in the other room or perhaps downstairs. So I was able to just float on up out of my body without any effort. And I'm guessing it's because of the lunar energies, right? And I looked around, but I couldn't find it. So I had time. I slipped a few mantras in there. Om Mani Padme Hum, some white Taras. I was thinking about doing like an medicine Buddha or something, but I never got that far. And I got pulled back. But I also did get to reinforce my energy nets a little bit here and there, just structurally around the place, like here and there, haphazardly, before I got pulled back to my physical body. And for those that didn't hear about my astral visitor, this previous week, earlier this week during sleep paralysis, I got a little visit from a low-level succubus-type energy vampire, which was not super shocking to me because I just started clearing and sending some energy to a potential new place to live, which I'm hoping will be temporary, like only a year or two. But nobody's in that place, so I didn't feel bad about sending energy there or anything. I was just like kind of doing my own little energy probe, so to speak. So I figure I probably stirred up some astral dust, right? And I told this thing a firm no thanks and sent it packing. It asked me a second time, and I held the line. And I was about to get up out of my body and kick it out that time, but it left on its own. So it was more of a curious hello and a knock than an attack. And you probably just heard that. This really loud car went by the window. I'm not sure why my microphone is now picking up more outside sounds than it used to. I don't know. But anyway, last night it came back. I think it was downstairs. And so I just reinforced a few things downstairs, and I never actually interacted with it. But it was like kind of still like going, really? Hi. So I'm beginning to think this place that I probed is probably going to be where I end up for a while. So, it's not going to want to move, but I'm going to have to push it out, or perhaps help it along a little bit more gently. I'm open to helping it go somewhere better, and I have to find out more about the spirit in order to do that. And these things like to feed, so maybe a nice lush alien planet. I don't know. I'm going to give it some more thought, because I don't want to just like push something out all willy-nilly without having the details. And the fact that it came back a second time tells me it feels more connected to that place than I knew about before. So I want to use some tenderness if I can. And if it just takes brutal force, fine. But I don't want to just go there right away, and the fact that it came back, but it was like from a further distance, also, I think, shows respect. It wants to communicate. It doesn't want me to react. It wanted me to hear that, right? So this thing is being respectful, and I am going to be respectful back and just get more information about this. So moving on into my second astral projection of the evening for the Sturgeon Full Moon here, 2025. For time travelers out there who might get confused, it's Sturgeon Moon 2025. I was again amazed how easy it was to float out of my body again. And then I remembered after I was out that, oh yeah, it's a full moon night. I just flew around my neighborhood for a while, enjoying flying itself. It was really dark, hazy. I did find a small, shabby, decrepit trailer with the lights on, like lights hanging off wires. Like this place was so run down. And people floating around outside it. So I said hi. I drifted on down. I had to drift on down. When you're at a certain level, I was kind of a little above the trees, no, a little more higher in the sky. And then I had to go come on down incrementally. And I said hi to an older looking woman with long blonde, like bleached blonde, wavy hair, who looked to be in her 60s to 70s. And the curious thing about this is it can indicate an older spirit sometimes that's been hanging around. Because a lot of spirits, if they're if they died recently, they might look just like how they did. But sometimes the really old ones that are sticking around for a long time keep their appearance for a certain reason. Like maybe they're waiting for somebody and they want to be recognized by that person. And others, kind of default to when they felt like they were at their peak, like in their 30s, 35, 40 maybe. So I saw her and she and I were chatting telepathically. I don't remember much about what, I think just small talk. And a burly man in his, looked more in his 50s to 60s with these really big arms, but missing a hand. Oh my gosh, it was sad. He was missing his right hand. And the way he was looking tells me he wants to be remembered for what he did. And so he said hi to me and that he was in the war, which is, of course, a clear sign why he lost his hand. But he didn't tell me which war. So I'm guessing World War I, just based on the vibe going on there and how run down everything was. And that lady too. But she seemed like maybe World War II-ish style. I don't know. And there was another skinnier man that looked like he had been starving and had run out of supplies, which could maybe go back to the Civil War, maybe, when they didn't even have shoes. I don't know. It was so sad. But he was just zoning out. So, and he looked actually like a little bit content. Like he had a small grin on his face. Like he knew what was coming and he accepted it. I'm just not sure why he's still hanging around there. And so that's a mystery to solve maybe another time. So inside this place, there's a small bar area set up for people to relax. And they were all nice and welcoming. There were a few other souls in there that were kind of just zoned. So I decided I preferred to continue flying around for a while outside. And when I left, that one lady, she was really nice, put her face like right in mine with a big smile, like, thanks for coming kind of deal. And so did the other guy. He was like, wow, you have a great outfit on. And I don't know what I was wearing, but he made a comment. I don't want to say here, but it was flattering, and it was kind of World War I style too. I'll say that, like that kind of era. I was like, I don't know what I was wearing, but I think I was wearing something, I guess, flattering. I don't know. It feels so good in the astral to not be overweight. I'm overweight here in the physical, so I don't have any fantasies about me. And, but yeah, it was fun to feel that way for a while anyway. Yeah. Nice guy. Nice woman. Really nice all the way around. Those folks. I like them. So when I went back outside, I looked up because I remembered full moon, it's full moon night. But I did not see the full moon. And I almost sent myself barreling into space because again, I overestimated flight. Like oftentimes when I get out like that, it's hard to get out. It's hard to move around. Staying local like that, it takes more grounding, but not last night. So I resist the urge to ascend higher because it's like up in the upper atmosphere before I could even think about it, because I was just going on what I usually do. So, I did not want to go to space last night on purpose. I've been saving my energy because I've been physically fatigued. And focused on skimming the surfaces of the tops of the trees instead. So this is line of sight. You can use line of sight in the astral. It's kind of old school, but it works. So eventually I got pulled back to my physical body, but I successfully resisted the call back maybe about 3 times or 4. And then, I would go up into the atmosphere a few times and I get in this like misty zone, like I'm almost trans-dimensional. And then like just when I felt like I really wanted to go into space, I resisted the urge, and then I would go back to focusing on the treetops again. And oh my gosh, it was so hard because I love space, but space can take a toll, space travel, and I know I'm conserving energy still now. So finally, I think this next one is a bit more interesting because, of course, I did get pulled back. So I used the wake back to bed method sometime after 2 or 2:30 a.m. and woke up around 7:30 a.m. this morning. I recall vaguely slipping through my bedroom window with ease and seeing green. And that's this beautiful tree I have outside here. So, I felt like I was welcomed by the tree. It was all very vibrant and it was dark but vibrant. And, and the astral senses are heightened. And just the feeling of the leaves and the tree being so alive, and it was nice. It was so nice. And I was just flying around for a while again. And the main difference was that I could clearly see the full moon. It was not missing. The Sturgeon moon was there. Some stars were there showing in the sky, not all of them, even though it looked really clear. The rest of the sky was so black. So more stars should have been showing, but there were only some. I think one of the dippers. And one smaller moon that seemed translucent in nature. So 2 moons here. But this other one was rather small. And I'm thinking it was a dimensional portal because sometimes I've seen them show up like that. They're always a little bit different than like the moon we have here on planet Earth. Like sometimes they're translucent, sometimes they have like an ideogram on them or a word or just something. That means it's more of a portal. At least in my mind. Remember, our minds are always translating. So when I see something like that, I see it as a portal opportunity. Like if I want to go explore, there's something over there to see. There is. And so I was very curious about that. However, again, not knowing what it could be, I again resisted the urge, my explorer urge. I'm just, conserving energy, and I have this move looming whenever it happens. And so I was just like wandering around the area again in the dark of night, along the treetops, skimming, and just like stay close, but go, stop and go. I saw a large structure and decided to explore it. I found if I explore things like this, it's always weird but good. I don't know how to describe this feeling, but I discovered it was a mining tunnel, a mining area. And in these types of areas, I found if I go down into the caves, like deeper down, like explore the tunnels that they made, and then do my own exploring down deep into earth, they're sometimes filled with crystals or pools to swim in. And these are wonderful recharge areas. And I've already covered this in a how-to earlier on about ways to stay longer in the astral. Finding a power spot like this is epic. You want that. So the details are hazy, unfortunately. Some of them are. Others are very clear. But I remember that it was a granite mine with cement. So much cement, but also granite. The tunnels were made of cement, which I think is what I was tuning into, like that outer layer of the cement, or the inner one, I should say, of cement. Many of them, the tunnels I explored, actually had good lighting, which I was confounded by a bit. Like, why are they lit up? Because these are tunnels that should be ancient and old, right? So I kept coming to dead ends while trying to find deeper and deeper caverns and crystalline caves. I was like, oh, well, they didn't really leave an opening to a natural portal or a spot or something. I was exploring all around. And it was something to do that kept my mind off trying to shoot up into space again, because when I do that, I don't know if I'm going to be tired the next day, and I don't want to do that starting out tired. So this was a nice little something else to do. So when I was about to give up exploring if there was like a recharge point down there anyway, I had been there for so long, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours it felt like. There was an announcement that it was going to be blown up. Blown up was the word, I think. Or no, maybe explosion. I'm not sure. Blown up or explosion. In telepathy, this all just comes across as a big boom, And anyone inside should exit. So, boom, exit, go. Overall, I felt safe. But I was a little surprised by this announcement. I don't think I should have been, though, now that I'm thinking back on it, because it's a mine, right? I mean, that's what they do. They blow things up in mines. Very natural for a mine. Here I am deep inside one. So even though I usually slip through walls and windows with ease, those tunnels that looked like cement were really dense. And then I remembered, oh yeah, granite. They're granite. My choices were to stay for the explosion, which might have been exciting to do, like see it from the inside out. I don't know what that could have been. And I wonder if I'd have stayed, like what would I have seen? However, I chose to use a portal method that I often use to exit places. I mean, I tried those walls. They bent, but I couldn't get all the way through them easily and quickly. And being fast here was what made the difference, because it was coming, right? And in the astral, sometimes things happen faster, sometimes they happen slower than you expect, and you don't exactly know. Like, so I'm down in there, and the worst case scenario is I wake up from whatever happens, but I didn't want to. I want to have more fun, right? So I did my door method, and I'm not sure why I was thinking about the door method, but I was. So I was like, make a door and just exit outside. And it didn't work. I did manage to manifest the door, but when I opened it, there was just more cement and another cement-like tunnel deeper into the mine. And I'm wondering if I had taken it now, like, would I have been able to go deeper and find another dead end, or like a secret pathway into the earth? And I don't know now that I'm thinking back. But at the time, I was thinking to myself, okay, I know I need to try a few times. So portal methods are great, but sometimes it takes a few times for them to work. Okay, so next I tried make a door to a paradise realm. And what I was really thinking behind that was like a slightly higher dimension where I won't miss the blast. But that didn't work because this portal manifested more literally. So there was a portal there when I opened the door, and there was like this old wooden sign saying Paradiso SEO or something with all the extra vowels like that. It had a totally South American vibe. So I was able to manifest a portal, an astral portal to South America somewhere. That was really tempting because, wow, of course I'd like to see that. But I decided to try once more and stay in my local locale so I could see the explosion that was, basically advertised. If I could just slip outside the mine in the night, I was thinking it should be easy, right? It should be easy. So once more I tried. I said, make a door to just outside right now. As I wanted to make sure to stay in the same dimension and timeline, so I did not miss the blast. So I thought, I'll use the timing method right now. It's hard to get it too wrong with right now. So the last one worked perfectly. So I wasted no time in going on through that door. Outside, it was still a clear evening with the same two moons, the larger Sturgeon moon, which is full, and the smaller translucent portalesque portally one. A crowd had gathered outside, though, which was great to see. I was like, wow, I really made it, and maybe I'm in time, And so I think I'm watching this place, and I'm thinking blowing up stuff might be a regular thing. This is a place memory area. And I'll get into that in some other show, I think, or episode. So the environment is alive. Everyone is so alive, and it remembers, and there's these echoes that happen. And in the astral, they're even more pronounced. So I asked someone about the location, and he said Johnsonville. I asked two people before him, but I couldn't make out what they said. But he was the one I could make it out, Johnsonville. And I thought maybe I've gone as far as Massachusetts, but I wasn't sure. So I got pulled back before the explosion. So I missed the big show, I guess. I should say my door and portal methods often manifest in different ways. Everything from spinning lights to actual door frames showing up. This time, my portals all manifested as brilliant, pure white granite doors. The last two with silver knobs. I'm not so sure about that first one. So it was kind of like trying to make itself into that. So they manifested to match the quarry I was in. I'm quite disappointed about not being able to see the explosion, of course, and especially after foregoing a potential visit to South America, because wow, Peru, I could have maybe jumped over to Peru, but I did not. So I looked up granite quarries in my local area, of course. I didn't find anything in Johnsonville. However, I found one that resembles what I saw in, get ready for this, put your seat belts on, your Astral seat belt, and put it down, Graniteville, Vermont. Yep, there's a place called Graniteville, Vermont. I dug a little deeper online, of course, and the Rock of Ages Quarry is definitely 100% where I was. In the Astral, of course, an Astral version of it. So, wow. I so much love being able to confirm an experience like this. I didn't get to when I was younger. The local library was pretty small, and not many people even had a computer. So this is making me feel really old. But wow again, I'm going. The space itself was so alive that I even researched granite a bit because I was really focused on crystalline energy, and now I know why. Granite is composed of quartz, feldspar, and mica. So I was basically inside a crystalline energy vault, which is why it took time for my portals to phase through and work properly. Yay. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you felt great vibes, please like, subscribe, and share with other curious starseeds, wanderers, dreamers, and souls. I love you all. Lots of happy vibes to everyone. Happy astral travel.